Hi, I'm Terrence Joyce, and this is my studio in Venice, Florida. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about a couple of paintings today, but this is part of my series, Art as Illumination, and Art as a Spiritual Practice. So, what is illumination, and what is aspiration, and what is inspiration? I think of aspiration as something we all have. We aspire to share our perspective on life with other people. That's what I consider aspiration, as opposed to desire, career, all of that kind of stuff. And then inspiration, I'm using that term for the daily little nudges we get from the divine. Look at this, look at that. So aspiration could be what a kid develops and holds on to for the rest of his life. Look, Mom, look, Dad, look at that beautiful sunset. I want you to see this. So aspiration is a sharing need. Inspiration, I think, comes from the divine to us each day. Look at that beautiful sunset, child. Why don't you share that? Now, there's a billion sunsets on Instagram every day, so this is wonderful. We're seeing the world from a billion different points of view each day, and it keeps changing, and it's wonderful. I, as a painter, have to listen to my own inspiration and decide what to paint and what not to paint. So a lot of times I see something very light and beautiful, colorful, light coming through a tree, and I want to paint it and share it. My whole palette is mostly light and bright. I do a lot of mystical stuff, mythical stuff, people levitating like birds, the lightness of life. But all inspiration to make an art piece isn't that. Now, I was inspired to do these two paintings about elephants from a whole different inspirational mode. I had seen some images online of the slaughter of entire families of elephants for the tusks, for the ivory trade, for greed, and it tore at me. It was almost as though the elephants I saw depicted were calling out to me, especially the ones that stayed alive. This mother, she got away from the fray with her calf. She was torn between staying with her family and burying them and mourning them, which is their instinct, and her other instinct as a mother to run for safety. So I painted this as a very rough painting, because it was a very rough emotion I was feeling. But I felt like she was saying, say something to somebody. And so I was the voice grabbed through those images, and I'm an artist, and I have to say what I'm inspired to say. So this is done on a canvas, very rough canvas. The canvas got bigger than I thought it would be. I needed to do it so immediately that I just used an old painting, which is on the back of this. But what I depicted here is she's calling out to Mother Earth. What can I do? I need guidance. Where can I take my calf where she'll be safe? And she's calling out to me, I'm calling out to you, the viewer, through the painting. What can she do? In this one, she's praying up to Mother Earth. What of my child mother she prays. So I created this as a poem almost. The way it came out of me, expression-wise, was almost as a poem. It tortured its way out. She needed to say something, and I was what she was using to say it. This is a whole herd of elephants from the same collection of images. They're at the edges of extinction. They're bordered in the image by a red line that they can't get past. They can't get past the atrocities of a few humans who are making the rest of us dead. So they too are calling out through the artists, through the image of the photographer, through the artist who saw it, to say something. What are they saying? They're asking me to ask you, what will we say to our grandchildren if there's no elephants in just a few years? What will we say to St. Francis of Assisi? What will we say to the God of Genesis, which gave us custodianship over his garden? Are we taking good care of his garden? That's what they're saying. It was also a poem. It felt like a poem as it was birthed. I was almost in agony as I was painting this, and it was their agony, and it came out as a prayer. May we hope for our children, Mother. They're asking me to ask you. May they hope for their children. So I think a lot of people care about this, and this image is just one more to remind you that something needs to be done to save these magnificent brothers and sisters of ours in God's garden here. Well, somebody does care about the elephants and is doing something about it. Both these paintings are going to Parks Gabon in Western Africa. I'm donating them to this animal rescue habitat run by Professor Lee Smith and his associates. So their prayers are being answered. Actually, in both these images, it looks like grace is breaking through the boundaries and aid is coming. In both of them, light is coming down. I think of that as grace. They're being somebody cares. So I'm donating these to Professor Lee Smith to use as fundraising and awareness raising for monies and stuff to keep his park going. It's the largest elephant habitat in Africa. They also have a biosystem that is a real Noah's Ark of our day. They work effortlessly to try to preserve these. So these are going to help aid their funds to keep their work going. And I'm happy to be part of that by to benefit these wonderful creatures.